Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Simple Pin Podcast. I'm your host, Kate Ahl. If you are listening in your podcast app, I want to let you know that we now have me live on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. And so if you want to see these episodes live, see the interviews, go to YouTube and search Simple Pin Media. If you are a podcast listener and you cannot make that leap to video, that is just fine. We will still be publishing in both places. So that's just a little update for you. Before we dive into, I want to just encourage you as we go into Q4 on Pinterest, that if you are looking to outsource your Pinterest marketing because you want to focus on other areas of your business, Simple Pin Media is open to help you. We are open for business. So if you're interested in monthly management, if you are interested in getting a complete overhaul of your account, or maybe you really need this kickstart where you got to build everything and then you want us to train your team, we do that too. Book a call with our team. It's totally free. This is not a strategy call. We have another place for that. This is just to simply figure out, are we the right fit for you? Are we the best people to manage your account, to work for you? We do have 10 years of experience. We have a super competent team, and we know what to do when things are not working right. We know how to troubleshoot. So if that is you and your business, book a call with our discovery team, simplepinmedia.com/services. Okay, to today's episode, we are actually going to be covering how to build a content calendar with Pinterest. And it was really cool because we had a recent live training that we did, or actually it was our town hall. We will do these free town halls every quarter, and we do them because we just want to answer questions for the community, for people who are new to Pinterest, or maybe they don't understand where they're going with their marketing on Pinterest. And we had a great listener question, watcher question, I guess, at the end. And here was her question. What is the best workflow to set up a content calendar using Pinterest? Is it trends? Is it the search bar? How do you see what's trending the previous year? She says, I hope this makes sense. With all the Google changes, I'm relying more on Pinterest for my content and keyword ideas. So that's what we're going to cover today, how to use Pinterest to build a content calendar. Before I dive in, I want to say a few things. One, if you are a merchant or an e-commerce business selling both physical or digital products, the best way to make your Pinterest marketing work is with content. It's like the number one way to warm people up to what you sell, what you have, and it's really essential. So if you just have a bunch of product listings, while that is great, this takes it to the next level. So creating a content calendar not only helps you be able to plan your marketing in advance, but it also helps you reach a different audience on Pinterest. Pinterest users are cold to you. They're not interested in searching for brands. They are definitely looking to be warmed up. And we believe a piece of content warms them up. And number two, I would say I'm not a super type A person, but I love a good plan. But I need it to be simple so that I do not slow down. And that is important as you listen to this. I'm approaching it how my brain would organize things. And I know people organize things very differently. So I'm hoping this workflow inspires you. I like to call these experience shares. I got that word from Entrepreneurs Organization. I was a part of EO for a while. And one of the things that I loved was that nobody can really give advice. They could only give experience shares. And I learned so much. So this is like experience share, kind of how we do it, how we've seen it work here at Simple Pin Media. So I want you to take what we're talking about and figure out how it's going to work for your brain. And I think this is really important if you're just going to create 10 blog posts or 10 videos. Content, I feel like is this weird word these days. Some people use it as blog posts. Some people use it as video. I'm going to say content, and you get to interpret that into whatever you want. But in order for Pinterest really to be effective, blog posts tend to be the best. So if I use that word in there, know that you can always interchange and swap it out into video. The other thing I want to tell you is that as far as a time frame, I would recommend you don't do this on a really busy day. one where you're already maybe in process of creating content, or you're creating video, or you're packaging and shipping your products. Allow yourself an hour to do this and really think creatively. My recommendation would be that you do it at the beginning of the week, fresh Monday morning. Go to a coffee shop, a library, maybe a favorite place that is outside your normal workplace. Why I want you to do this is that I feel like this always boosts creativity. It really helps us think outside the box. And when you're exhausted, when you are in this mode where you are work, you're going to get less than stellar results that won't be creative, that won't be thinking bigger. And I believe that when you do a content calendar, I want you to think bigger. I want you to think outside the box differently. You're going to make it massive sometimes, and then you can edit later. So this is not a time to edit yourself. So I want to add those two things. One, make this workflow work for your brain. And number two, find a time to do it when you are fresh with ideas. I'll also add this. If you need somebody else to help fuel you with ideas, then bring them along. Maybe it's a team member who works with you. Maybe you need to do it on Zoom. Really put yourself in a position to get creative. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's dive into the tools that we're going to use to do content research on Pinterest. Number one, we have this tool called Pinterest Trends. If you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, or you've been watching on YouTube, you have probably heard me talk about it. You can find it by going to trends.pinterest.com. It's super cool. If you are not in the US, there's 16 different countries where you can search trends. If you are in the Netherlands, if you are in Brazil, if you are in Canada, go ahead and look at your country-specific trends. Just explore around, just look at it. You can find this also by going into your Pinterest account, and under analytics, when you do the drop down, you'll see trends right there. Click on that. Just look at it first. Okay, you've got trends pulled up on your computer. Here's an example. You can search for something like Halloween eats, treats, maybe more specific, like other things that you're going to be wanting to search for. Okay, I had to take a little stop there for an interruption here at home, which I don't normally do in podcasts or in videos, but we're going to pick up where we left off. Okay, as far as the trends tool, we're going to take terms, like I said, like Halloween eats and treats, and we're going to go through and we're going to see what is trending for these particular topics. So here's again why I like trends. I can look at a particular term or phrase, and I can see if actually people are searching for it, what the volume of searches are, and when people are searching for it. It's a super cool tool to see the quote unquote trends, right? I can look at it and see what's happening, what people are looking at, and then I can play around with different words. So getting familiar with how this works is really important because you want to know, you'll see related searches, you'll get a lot of information from here. So you have trends opened up, you're just looking at it, you're familiar with it. Okay, now open a new tab, and the second place is the search bar. This is just within Pinterest. I love it because you can look on your phone, you can look on desktop, and I can get a little bit deeper. So let's say you were looking at something like Halloween treats. Now I can go to Pinterest and I can put that in, and I can see when I put in Halloween trends or treats, you can see below Halloween treats vegan, Halloween treats low sugar. You can now see all these different things that are trending underneath when people have searched it. Here's the cool part is, let's say I do Halloween treats and I hit enter. Then I can actually see what is ranking at the top. This doesn't change for people. This is kind of like what's shown for everybody searching Halloween treats. So I can look at images, I can look at what websites, I can look even at the ads that are being shown to somebody who's searching this particular term. And so I can take note of what's happening there, and then I can go back to the search bar. I can change up and do different words, and maybe those words are going to get, if I change it like Halloween party treats, maybe I'm going to get different results than if I just did like Halloween treats. Okay, so we have trends open, we have the search bar open. Now it's time to build out your content calendar with both of those tools. For this workflow, I like to basically just use Google Sheets. That's it. Google Sheets feels like the easiest thing for me. I use it for editorial podcast calendar here. I've used it for years. Feels intuitive to me. Some people love Airtable. I've heard about ClickUp. I've never used it. I've heard some people love it. I don't know if you could even create a calendar in there, but for this example, I'm going to use Google Sheets. So I open it up and I label it editorial calendar. In fact, I'm looking at mine right now, 2024 editorial podcast calendar. I put in my date, and then I put in what I want the title to be. Then I want some extra ideas for content. And then I'm going to have a last section that has what I want on the pin. That is what your final content calendar is going to look like. But I'm going to have you open a new sheet on the bottom that is like all of your ideas. This is not anything you're going to edit. This is just every idea under the sun and what comes to your mind. Get the creative juices flowing. Okay, we're going to go to, I like the search bar first, and we're going to search everything for Halloween. And I'm going to do like Halloween costumes and parties. So I'm going to go with Halloween costumes on my first sheet, Halloween parties on my third sheet. So technically now I have 3 sheets open on my content calendar. And I'm going to go with ideas. I'm going to go, okay, Halloween costumes. But I'm going to get more specific because I want Halloween costumes for adults. This could produce something sketchy, so searcher beware. So look at what's there, go through, get some examples on Pinterest, and just see what comes up. Make a note when you search Halloween costume adults, are there any more words after it in the search bar? So hit enter, search around, and start putting ideas in. Ooh, I could do a blog post about this. Ooh, I could do a blog post about this. And then do the title of the blog post or the topic, and then put the keyword that you searched next to it. So you're going to take minutes, you're going to go through that. Then go Halloween party ideas, Halloween appetizer ideas. Kind of go deep on these different things. If you sell a product, let's say you sell a Halloween candle, and maybe you sell Halloween costumes, make note of what type of costume it is and go deeper on that. Then go to trends and then look at what related searches are, make notes of when the search volume is, kind of just take stock of what's happening. This method right here doesn't have any right or wrong because you are simply gathering ideas. So pull them in from the search bar, pull them in from trends, let yourself get inspired. If you're doing this with another person, have them looking at their computer too, so that they're pulling up all these different things. Okay, now is where you really get into the content ideation piece. You have your 2 sheets set up, or maybe 3 or 4, depending on how many keywords that you're targeting. And now we're going to begin to build the content calendar. So like I said, we have the date, we have the topic, we have the title of the blog post. We have maybe a link out to a Google Doc where you write that blog post. We do this here at Simple Pin Media. It's a dream for me. I can edit, I can make notes in my Google Drive, in my doc. It's fantastic. And then after that, what we do is we actually put the 2 types of pins and their pin text. What text do we want on the pin? And then you're going to target your keyword. What keyword are you targeting for? So this is your main first page, not your idea pages, but your first page. And my goal for you inside this ideation time that you have is for you to come up with at least 10 blog posts around this particular topic. You can also choose to know in your content calendar what format this is going to be in. Is it going to be an article? Is it going to be a video? How do you want to play up the image? Any idea that comes to your mind during this ideation, I'm being serious. Don't edit yourself. I do this. I will get into ideation and I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that's not going to work. I once heard the guy from Savannah Bananas, I think his name is Jesse. He is a fantastic guy, fantastic organization. He said, our team does ideation and there is no bad idea. And it's not the how, it's the what. Because a lot of times we think of an idea, which is the what, and we go, oh, I don't know how that's going to work. We don't want to worry about that during ideation. We're just getting into the what to get your creative juices flowing, to think differently. This is also a great time to think outside the box. What are people going to be searching this year during Halloween? Or take any other holiday and think about maybe a tilt on it. That phrase is from Joe Pulizzi, at the tilt. Maybe have something that's just a little bit different than the norm. If it's like Halloween costumes, maybe it's like Halloween costumes for teens, Halloween costumes for college students. Maybe think of a twist on it. Again, write down as many as you can to be able to get some ideas. I hope this gave you some inspiration. I feel like I went super fast through it, which I'm known for. I'm a fast mover. But remember this, your content calendar is a living document. It is going to be changing and moving at the same time. So share with me on Instagram or any other social, how you're inspired to create your own podcast calendar. Not podcast calendar, your own content calendar from Pinterest.